Today I'm going to show you how to register your new ActivSlate with your computer. Please be sure that you launch ActivInspire from the Productivity folder before we begin. By the end of this screencast, we will have talked about the parts and pieces that come with your slate, how to set it up in ActivInspire, and some basic troubleshooting ideas. First, we're going to talk about the parts and pieces. When you receive your ActivSlate, you're going to see that there are several pieces in it. The first piece is going to be the ActivSlate itself, right here. Next, you'll see that there is a pen in there, and this pen is characterized as slightly curved, and it's got a button on top, and it kind of looks like a shark fin. There's also a cable in here, and this cable is actually the charger for the ActivSlate. And you'll notice the charger because it's got a small end to the USB cable, and we're going to look at that in a little bit more detail in just a minute. You'll also get in a separate package the ActivHub. The ActivHub is the receiver for the slate so that it can communicate wirelessly with your computer. The ActivHub comes with a USB extension cable that allows you to plug it into your computer in case you have a desktop computer on your tech cart, or if the laptop you use is very crowded. The ActivHub is actually a little bit larger than a flash drive and sometimes does not fit if you plug it directly into the computer. So it's not a bad idea to use this USB extension cable. If you use the cable, there's a cradle that you can rest the hub in so that it doesn't flop off the table or the tech cart and go onto the floor. Taking a closer look at the charger, on the right-hand side of this Slate 60 is a small USB port, and that's where you're going to plug in the small side of the USB charger cable. The ActivSlate comes with a charge, so you should not need to do this right out of the box. However, you should charge it to a full charge relatively soon after you open it up. Just so that we cover this base, the back of the Slate 60 there's an orange button where you can press that and turn the slate on, and the LCD panel on the front side of the slate will light up. Just a couple of notes here. If you've got an older pen or an older active board in your school that has the orange trim, or you have an older slate, these older devices are not compatible with the new Active Pen and the ActivSlate 60. So the orange pen will not work with the ActivSlate 60 or the ActivSlate 50. You must use the newer ActivSlate Active Pen, which is characterized again by the light gray trim, the little button on the top next to the shark fin. The older ones have the orange trim. Okay, to actually register your slate, you need to have ActivInspire open. Again, this is launched from the Productivity menu. Please do that. It installs some very nice updates. And you either have the dashboard open, or if the dashboard isn't open, you can go to the View menu and select Dashboard. You can also use the F11 key. When the dashboard comes up, on the left-hand side, click Configure and Register Devices. You can see that we have one ActivHub plugged into the computer, and we have three types of devices we can register. We're going to register a slate, so I click on the Slate box and then the Register button. You can register many slates to one hub, but right now we're just going to register one. That is the default, so I'll select that and click Next. On the next screen, what you want to do now is turn your slate over, press the orange button so that the LCD panel lights up. And then you're going to take your pen, and you're going to touch this. On this screen it's orange, that's the old picture, but on the ActivSlate 60 it's a white circle with a flame inside of it. I'm going to touch that, and the LCD panel should say the word pin. What you do for the pin is you're going to use your pen tip, and you're going to touch the letters that are shown in this box. In my case, it's the letter C, D, and D. So I'm going to tap the letter C, then I'll tap the letter D, and then the letter D again, making sure that as I tap, it does actually appear in the LCD panel. It'll tell me that it's registered, and that box will disappear. And then I'll just click the Done button that's down here in the corner. And now I'm free to use my ActivSlate, and I can move my mouse around just like I would if I were sitting at the computer, but I'm now no longer tethered to the computer. If you have some trouble, there's some common things that you can do. A common problem they have when you try to register is that the registration fails. You'll get that little notice on the LCD screen on the slate that said registration fails. If that happens, turn the slate off and then close out of that device registration window and then just retry it. Oftentimes it works the second time. It is a radio frequency. Sometimes somebody might use a walkie-talkie as you're trying to register and it kind of interferes with the registration process. And the second time usually takes care of it. Another common issue that you'll see is you'll get a message that the hub must be cleared. With the newer version of ActivInspire, it comes with some really good on-screen instructions on how to do that. In fact, it clears it for you automatically. You no longer have to use the control panel. And that's a really nice touch. So just read and follow the on-screen instructions on how to clear that and then go back and start the re-registration process again. Finally, if you need any additional help or you want some more ideas about using ActivInspire, feel free to go to our TRT website and check out our Promethean page, which has lots of information about ActivInspire, lots of tips and tutorials, and how to get along with your brand new ActivSlate.